Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Voice It Out Broadcast Network, where we inspire change by helping you bloom beyond boundaries. My name is Wangere Njeri, and today is Nation Thursday, hashtag peace, unity, and freedom. And as you can see, I'm not alone. Some of you have met him, some of you have not. And for the sake of you who are seeing him for the first time, I would like him to introduce himself.
Hello, my name is Carlos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my name is Carlos.
Brief.
Yes, I'd like to be brief.
Anyway, so again, if you've not subscribed, please subscribe, like, comment, and share. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. So today we are talking about corruption. Corruption has been a major issue in our country, and it has affected us economically in all ways possible that you can think of. And it has been there for many years, yani nilizaliwa ikiwa.
Yeah, I guess sisi wote tulizaliwa ikiwa.
Yeah. Okay. So Carlos, how would you explain corruption is? What would you explain corruption is according to you?
In my own view,
Mm.
the simplest way to describe corruption would be acts of dishonesty or or distruthfulness when you are in a position of power. So, for example, if I was the governor, and I'm dishonest about the budget of my county, not just to the government, the national government, of course, but also to the people that I'm working for. So the citizens of that county, for example. Yes, then corruption starts there.
Do you have to be in power so that you can practice corruption?
Okay, if you look at the definition of corruption, there is that element of power. You have to be in a certain position of power. No?
Okay.
And the power is not just about political power. It's not just about that. It's about different places. So different situations, we have different powers. And sometimes we don't even realize that when a new power is. I guess over time we have talked about power so much until we forgot that power is not that big. It starts from a small unit to a bigger one. Yes.
Come here, the power, the kind of power that a father has over his family.
Exactly.
Am I a big brother over the younger sister?
You see, it's still power. It's still power, but when you talk about power, you don't think about those kinds of situations. Exactly.
Okay.
You only think about me being president or me being governor or me being an MP or something. Or maybe being an employer in some kind of company or something.
Okay. Yeah. What do you think are some of the causes of corruption in our country?
Some of the causes of corruption. We have so many causes of corruption. Yeah, but okay. We could say that the number one cause of corruption, according to me, is greed. It starts from that longing to have more even when you already have. So I call it greed. Yes, I guess that is the number one cause of corruption, and I'll stick to that for now.
Greed.
Yes, greed. Yeah.
So greed ndio inaleta hizo vitu zingine.
Yes,
zote.
Yeah. All of these things on corruption, they all sprout from one point, which is greed. Yes.
Have you ever been a victim of corruption? Have you ever been affected by corruption?
I guess everyone has at some point.
Yes.
But you see, it's all stipulation at the end of the day. You know, I might think I have, but it's only a thought. And sometimes, yeah, you can say it's apparent, but we don't really have, so I cannot really say. Not that you can say whether or not they are truly victims of corruption. Because once there is no proof, a way to prove it, then you are not a victim. You understand? But there is stipulation. So I can stipulate that I have been a victim of corruption, like I think most people have. Yes.
But I think there are also cases where it is openly corruption. And
of course.
Very open.
Yeah. There are cases where we have proof that this is an act of corruption against me. Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you think should be done to people who are caught in the act of corruption or they have been found guilty for corruption?
Okay. So that question, most of your viewers, I guess, are going to they're going to have be against this to some extent, because when it comes to such things, I can come out as a bit of an extremist. I think if it was up to me, the best course of action when it comes to corruption would be execution, or simply we banish you, depending on the levels of corruption. So, for example, a government officer or official committing corruption, in my own opinion, should be taken differently from a university student committing it. Yeah. So when a university student commits it, then they should be banished from the country. Yes, and the country should not involve themselves in any affairs concerning him or her. Then, if a government official commits it and we find him guilty of corruption, it's simple. We execute him. It's as simple as that. Would
you do the same thing to your relative?
Oh, yeah. They should know. They should know that they are not supposed to mess with other people's life, but by committing such things like corruption. And when they do, they should know that the law will take action against that.
What if you end up killing everyone?
I end up killing everyone. Then everyone is corrupt, and I am also corrupt in that case. Then I should also die. I guess that would be the case, but it's not logical that everyone will be corrupt. You understand? So again, there is no given time when itafika I have to kill everyone, because you see, if I impose such a rule, it exerts some sort of fear in people. And if anything, if history has taught us anything, is that human beings fear, and it's that fear that prevents them from engaging in certain acts. So, for example, we have the fear of being arrested because of murder, for example, or because of engaging in activities that are illegal, for example, like drug trafficking, human trafficking, and those kinds of things, because the punishments for those kinds of illegal stuff are dire. Yes.
So apart from banishing and executing people, do you think you would offer some other kind of solutions?
No, if it is up to me, no. Those are the only two solutions that I would offer. And then we can start from there. Yes. We can pick it up from there, because I know that most of the people are going to have fear to commit that. And then with the time, it will just go. Yeah.
So there's this thing that people, watu wamezoea, like wamezoea kuogopa vitu mingi, so they don't even care. Do you think that will be the kind of situation if you tell people that you kill them and banish them when they
Okay, so this is the thing. It's not just about telling people that they are going to be executed when they commit corruption. It's also telling them why it is not okay to commit corruption and think that you will get away with it. You'll also, so for example, me, if I was in charge, I'd not just say it and then leave it at that. No, I would tell you and portray those punishments as consequences of an action. So committing corruption is an act, and it's an illegal act in Kenya. So we define that first. So how do we define that corruption is an illegal act in Kenya? We come up with laws and policies that portray it as such. So we say that giving money to get access to certain favors when you do not deserve them is defined as corruption. Or doing something or asking someone in power for a favor even though you do not deserve the favor is corruption. So that when you're found in certain situations like that that have been defined then by the Constitution, of course, then we we charge you with corruption charges, and then we move from that. So I tell the people that corruption and the punishment that comes with corruption is just a those punishments, they are consequences to an action they committed. Yes.
Talking of constitution, do you think that our constitution, the current constitution that we are using, has somehow failed in executing or fighting corruption?
To some extent, to some extent it has. I don't think it's that hard on people who commit corruption. I think it's a bit lenient for my liking, to my liking, because I think it should be harder. The policies that are enforced for the different commissions that have been given that mandate to curb or deal with corruption cases, like the Anti-Corruption Commission, they should be given enough resources and power by that constitution. I don't think they have been given enough power to gain the resources they need or to get access to the resources they need to be able to help them take this country to the next level with regard to curbing corruption.
Okay. If asked about the previous regime and you're told to rate them in their performance in terms of fighting corruption, how would you rate them 1 to 10? And the current regime, how do you think it's going to perform in terms of fighting corruption? Because it has been an issue, and every time we are having elections, the first thing, one of the major agendas, manifestos of those vying for political positions, is that they are going to fight corruption. So rate the previous regime and give us your own opinion of how you think the current regime is going to handle this situation.
First, I must establish that all the previous regimes, in fact, all the regimes that Kenya has been under, they have all been corrupt. Of course, to some extent, some of them have tried to deal with it, but corrupt all the same. Okay. So this is the thing. If I was asked to rate the previous regimes, so for example, if I was to rate Jomo Kenyatta's regime, I don't know much about that, but history has it that corruption was still there.
Yeah.
So I would rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. I'd rate it at maybe 8 or 9.
So is 8 the level of corruption?
Yes, the level of corruption that was there, I want to believe was around that.
Okay.
Then as time goes by, actually let me turn that down to 7 or 8.
Yes.
Between 7 and 8. Then as time goes by, we get the Moi regime. Into the Moi regime, maybe we get into now 8 or 9 there. So it continues to increase like that because people are understanding the meaning of power. And someone said that if I give you power, there are 2 things that could happen. It could reveal the true you who we have never seen, that is not really positive, it's negative. Or it could reveal another side of you that is positive. I understand?
Yeah.
And most of the time, it is going to be the negative part. I understand? So people are realizing the meaning of power as every regime comes in. So with every regime, there is a new realization of, I can do this, I can do that, and no one can question it. So therefore, I can take this money, take that money, that, and no one will question it. You understand? And because they think that they will never be questioned by anyone, since the law itself does not hold them accountable, then corruption continues to increase. You understand?
So corruption has been increasing over the years.
That's what I think. There's nothing we are doing about this. Maybe on a personal level, even for the government officials, but it's not enough. It's supposed to be a collective thing.
Yeah.
So you say that you're not going to commit corruption. I say that. Everyone says that. It becomes a song.
Yeah. So about the current regime, you think, according to you, corruption will continue increasing, or what, or something, or this time round things will be different?
No, corruption will continue to increase because I do not understand why we are talking about, for example, people who are supposed to represent the youth in the parliament. Overwhelmingly, that word seems to be hard. Kwa ukubwa sana tunaona watu ambao ni kama mama zetu na baba zetu ndio wana to represent kama youth ndani ya hiyo parliament, as if they understand the things that we go through. Don't get me wrong, you see, they are older than us. They have some levels of wisdom that we don't have, but they have no current experiences of being youth. They have older experiences of being youth. So the experiences they had as youth during their time are not the experiences we are having now as youth, not necessarily. So there are experiences that we share, of course, but most of them are not the same because of technological changes, maybe educational changes here and there. Different types of changes that have occurred over time up to this point. Understand? So, for example, I cannot say that the way my mom raised me or my dad raised me is the way is the way I'm supposed to raise my kid when I have one. Understand? It will be a different time. Maybe technology will be better that time. I might find it harder to raise him or her the way I was raised.
Yeah.
Yes. So the mere fact that we have people representing the youth who are older than the youth is already a problem, I think, and it's already a problem with the current regime. That is a small problem, but it's a problem. It goes to show us that the government might not even either the government does not have faith in the youth of this country, in positions of leadership, that is, or the government is just corrupt and it does not want the youth who, surprisingly, are trying so hard to fight against it more than the older people.
Yeah.
Because the youth are the ones who will complain about corruption being there. The youth are the ones who will say that employment levels have gone down because of corruption. They are the ones who see this. The government seems not to see it in the first place. Yes.
Talking of the youth, what are some of the effects of corruption that you can see that the youth have felt because of corruption?
So I guess we have joblessness right now. So low levels of employment. Currently, that is like the most profound effect that corruption has had on the youth, in my own opinion. So, yeah, let's speak about that mostly because all the other ones, they would not really have big evidence to show that. Yeah, so I like to work with evidence. That's why I try to avoid so much. Yeah.
Okay. In your own opinion, how do you think technology can be used in the fight against corruption?
I believe I said something about the government, okay, the law, giving enough power to anti-corruption commissions to enable them fight or gain access to enough resources to fight corruption. Part of those resources will be technology. So if you're talking about money, this money will be used to maybe buy some equipment that will be able to be used to gather evidence, against people who have been alleged to commit or to be involved in corruption acts. So you see, if that happens, if we use technology, the present technology, in gathering information in form of evidence, and of course in protecting that information, then it takes us a step forward towards just trying to fight it.
Yeah.
Understand? So, for example, if I am a politician and I have been alleged to be involved in acts of corruption, and then there is this technology that does not allow anyone to gain access to evidence until it's presented in court. Then I will by no doubt be found guilty if I was guilty.
Yeah.
Understand?
Yeah.
Yes. There is no room for me to tackle that evidence.
Yeah, but it's true. Technology plays a big role. There was a certain debate that these institutions that are supposed to fight corruption, they are way behind. You find someone being charged of corruption years after, for example, he has left office.
Yes.
Yet he was supposed to be charged of that corruption while he was still in office.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's so wrong.
Yeah. So the government should really embrace corruption.
And really, let's not put too much pressure on the government.
On the government.
Because okay, yes, the government has a lot a bigger role to play, but as individuals, not just the youth, but individuals as a whole, we also have a bigger roles to play. So, for example, corruption is not just about giving money. It's not just about giving out favors. No, it's more. So the things we do, for example, in our daily lives, that could come out as okay, but they are not okay. And they are forms of corruption that we really do not realize. They are like what someone would call white acts of corruption. You understand? So
by saying white, what is the other
white
color?
Oh, black.
Black.
Okay. Yes. So I call them white because they are they might be considered to be painless or less painful, less harmful in the short run. In the short run, but in the long run, they are the acts that develop into bigger ones. Yes, because they make you feel that doing this is okay, doing that is okay, therefore this is also okay. So, for example, just when kids are playing, sometimes they use some forms of ultimatums. So give me that or I'll not give you this. If you do not do this, then we will not play with you. You see, those are in themselves already acts of corruption because you want me to do something for you, for me to be able to access a certain or to be able to participate in a certain activity with you, even though you know that it's just okay for us all to just participate in that same activity without you having to ask something in return from me, because it is a free activity.
Bringing us to the point of where did they learn this from?
So you see, it's a continuous cycle. So they learn this from their parents, they learn this from what they see in the TV, they learn this from each other, and they learn this from the whole environment. So in every sense, in all the levels, the environment is just corrupt.
Okay, so while we're still at that, do you think there's somewhere in the world where there is no corruption?
No. It's not possible. It's like virtually impossible. Maybe in the under the ocean or something. But
Iceland.
I don't think there is anyone in the world with a government or something, or something of sorts of a government. Even in the Amazon, I don't think there is anywhere in this world where there is just no corruption completely.
There's always some level of corruption.
Yes, there is always something that could be defined as corruption. Yes.
So as
and as I said, it's the simplest way to define it is being dishonest or not being truthful about things when you are in a position of power. And we say the power could be in any position. I can have money right now. It puts me at a position of power.
Yeah.
No. I do not have a title really, but I have money. So when I'm dishonest about the things that I do to get my money, just so I could mislead you, then that becomes corruption in itself. It's not just about give or take. No. it's about sometimes me concealing a lot of information that could be helpful to you for my own good. Not,
Yeah.
yes.
As we finalize, what do you think are some of the values that should be upheld so that we can be a corrupt-free community or society?
The best value that I think naweza sema ni integrity. So integrity. So we take integrity and we break it down into smaller values, like just being honest with the things that you do and how you do them, and the people around you. So being honest with the people around you. So for example, if I find you out there and I see maybe you are not doing something correctly or rightly, so I simply become honest with you and tell you, you know what, you've been doing it wrong.
Yeah.
This is how it's supposed to be done. Or being truthful, because again, honesty and truthfulness are two different things. They should exist together, but usually they never exist together. Because you can be truthful, and every time when you're truthful, you are like honest, because honesty is a level of truthfulness.
Okay.
So when you're honest, it's not necessary that you're being truthful, because truthfulness now is the full level of honesty.
Okay.
Where you do not leave any form of information out.
Okay.
So I can tell you something about maybe how I came to be here, for example, and then I leave out some parts that were very important, even in the process of bringing me to where the position that I am in. Then I'm not truthful. I'm just honest about it. Yes.
Yeah.
So you see that. So honesty is important, but truthful is a truthfulness is a better virtue. Yes, because it allows you to be both honest and painfully truthful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we will end it there.
Yeah.
Maybe your final words, Kabisa.
My final words.
Yes.
I guess my final word will be to anyone who is out there who understands what corruption is and who has experienced it to some extent. It's a changing world, and part of that change is you, the things you do, the way you handle things. It contributes to that change. So do not despair because you were affected by certain acts of corruption. Just strive so that one day when you are in a position of power, you do not repeat the same mistakes that were done to you.
Yeah. So that is all. Fighting corruption is all our responsibility. Sio jukumu ya specific people, for example, the government. No, it's you and I. We join hands and fight this corruption. And people are fond of saying that corruption is not corruption when they are benefiting, but it is corruption when they are not benefiting. That should not be the case, because either way it is corruption.
Yeah.
Let us be truthful and honest, vile tu tumeambiwa.
Yeah.
So that is all. Thank you so much for watching and for being with us. This is Voice It Out Broadcast Network, where we inspire change by helping you bloom beyond boundaries. And again, thank you so much, Carlos, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So goodbye. Let's meet again next time on our next videos. Bye bye.